want to cooperate, let me tell you, we've confronted even more difficult things, like the killings of albinos, which you don't hear about them anymore. What we want from you is information on people carrying out such practices, or on anyone involved in the killings, but also on those who go to the witch doctors. What is hurting us is secrecy. We've also been contributing by going to witch doctors. We are grateful that the government is addressing this matter.
The Under the Same Sun organization's Tanzania branch has commemorated 10 years since its inception in the country. They stated that they were satisfied with the success they've garnered, even though a significant job still needs to be done to completely end the problem of discrimination and murders of people with albinism. Speaking during the commemoration in Dar es Salaam, the founder of Under the Same Sun, Peter Ash, said when he was coming to the country for the first time 10 years ago, he was received with faces of sadness, fear and disillusionment from people with albinism due to the constant kidnapping and murder incidents. But there has been a significant change. The guest of honor in the commemoration, the executive chairman of IPP, Dr. Reginald Mengi, commended the Under the Same Sun organization for its efforts to help people with albinism and emphasized that love is an important medicine in ending differences between us and people living with albinism.
Yeah. In Africa and around the world, after 10 years, after 20 years, after 30 years, however long it takes, after I'm gone from this earth, whenever it comes, I have a dream one day that people with albinism, my brothers and my sisters, your brothers and your sisters, people with albinism will take their rightful place in Africa, in Tanzania, and around the world.
People with albinism are just like us and are capable of taking part in activities and work just like us. We must not mistreat them just because they have albinism. What we can do is to love them, because in love you will help and not mistreat, and in love he will become a part of your life.
I'd like to say that we would like to sponsor more students with special needs like these ones. Nevertheless, I'm disappointed to note that doing so will require great investment, which has not yet been forthcoming. Therefore, I would like to request the government to make education more easily accessible in terms of cost for students with special needs like these ones.
The land conflict between residents of Mtepwezi area in Mtwara Mkindani municipal has ended with the force agreeing to let go of 6.2 acres of land for it to be given to the residents for agricultural activities.
When the prisons authority came to mark the area, they claimed that some parts had no conflict, except for an area of at least 6 hectares of land. We came here and there was no conflict. What happened is we came back and found that the area had been extended. I ask you, together with our team of experts, I'll also be instructing the municipal council, as it is the representative of the people. The local residents should also take part.
The police force in Kagera region is searching for Antidius Dawson, aged 19, a resident of Bugarama village in Bilabo ward in Muleba district, who's being accused of brutally murdering Shamrat Hassan, a kindergarten school child at Bugarama Primary School, aged 5 years old, by strangling her. The acting Kagera Police Commander Isaac Msengi said that when the deceased was leaving school with her classmates, she was called by her cousin, who is the accused, and taken to an unknown location. Her body was later found abandoned in a eucalyptus tree farm.
Before this child was murdered on 30th, he was coming back from school with her friends, kindergarten. They were met by her cousin, who took the child and took her to an unknown location. Later, her body was discovered.
5 specialists and 2 nurses from Cuba have arrived at Buganda Referral Hospital in Mwanza to begin implementing a 2-year contract for the provision of expert medical treatment for diseases which have been frustratingly difficult to solve. The contract is part who rely on health services which are provided by that hospital.
We'd applied for specialist doctors from Cuba since last year so they can help fill the gap, so as to improve the health care given. We have ear, nose and throat, urinary tract patients in ER and intensive care doctors. President Magufuli has worked to improve Buganda Hospital. We hope that our doctors will get a good experience.
If we want to revive the thinking of Fidel and Julius Nyerere, we want to work together and to hard in different sectors, not only in health sector. We work together in education sector, cultural, agricultural, because the relationship between Fidel, our leader Fidel, as your leader and our leader too, Julius Nyerere, is the friendship, the love, the good relation between Tanzania and Cuba.
Sentimos un gran placer.
We're happy to be here to share with you whatever we have with regards to health care.
Venimos a coger experiencia.
And that is all for national news. International news is next. And in international news, members of parliament from the area surrounded by constant conflict on ownership of Apar land in north of Uganda have accused the Deputy Prime Minister, General Moses Ali, for being the main cause of the invasion occurring in the area, which has caused fears of war and destruction amongst the residents.
Very clear that General Moses Ali has sold the...
It is clear General Moses Ali has a force of at least 15 people who are carrying out attacks under his instruction.
I also direct the Ministry of Internal Affairs.
I direct the Ministry of Internal Affairs to make sure that everyone in the camp is fed and that security is provided.
2 days before the start of the national nurses strike in Kenya, a strike that has been initiated to complain on salary increase and bonuses for nurses according to the 2018 agreement, the government of Kenya has now, through the Ministry of Labour, called on the nurses to temporarily halt the strike and give them time for discussions.
This is about health workers' strike, which has been arranged to take place from 4th February. They've decided to go on strike. The health service is very important. As Minister of Labour, I have nominated a conciliation committee who have 1 month to report back to me. If we cannot reach an agreement, we'll have to go through the courts.
Burundi has begun to pay its backlogged contributions in the East African community.
The arrears were as a result of a budget starting on January 1st. With the new constitution, the budget year starts from 1st July. There was some disagreement on the budget, which led to arrears.
Na budget ya Jumuiya ya Afrika Mashariki inaanza tarehe 1 mwezi wa 7.
Followers and citizens of Congo today remember 2 years since the death of Etienne Tshisekedi wa Mulumba, whose body is to date still in Belgium.
He left us with an inheritance in fighting for justice, and we are thankful. What we can remember from him are the changes we will be enjoying very soon. We've inherited so much. He taught us to fight for democracy and to respect the Constitution.
And that's all for international news. Do stay with us. We'll be back with business after this break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
To be rich, I have to be a business person.
It's not an easy road at all.
People need to understand. You must quickly think, how cost effective are you going to be?
Business acts as a way in which it can bridge that gap.
Business Edition will keep you informed on latest developments in the financial sector, extractive industry, tourism, agriculture, energy, construction, and so much more. Meet entrepreneurs who create employment opportunities. Watch Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. Air Tanzania Company Limited ATCL has launched a new sales office as well as a website with the aim of increasing efficiency in provision of services and enabling it to be available to customers with more ease.
Tumeendelea pia kuwekeza katika uboreshaji wa mifumo ya utoaji wa huduma.
We've invested in customer service, including the selling and distribution of tickets, so that we can make it easier for our customers to access tickets.
Kwa upande wa mawakala, karibu tunaanza safari.
We'll soon be traveling to international destinations. Our success depends on you. You are the ones with international contacts. This is a win-win situation. If ATCL succeeds, then you do too.
The Managing Director of the East Africa Business Council, EABC, that is Peter Mathuki, has said that the business environment in countries of the East African community has continued to strengthen despite small ongoing challenges in some of the countries.
This is for East Africa community citizens to benefit, and this is what we aim for.
Bahati nzuri kuwa kuna kamati katika kila nchi ambazo zina.
Every country has a committee in charge of implementation. We advise that everything should be done as agreed.
Maelezo kule kwenye ngazi ya kanda.
The Research on Poverty Alleviation Institution report has said that for the country to reach a middle-income industrial economy with ease, investments must be made in industries that will increase the value of resources in the country, such as minerals and harvests, along with investment in important infrastructure, including road, railway, and air travel.
We should manufacture our own garments. We've got cotton as well as leather, so there were many areas that we made recommendation.
Skills.
We must identify what skills are needed in farmers and what implements are required so they can produce the right crops.
And that is all for business news. We'll be back with sports in just a bit.
Hi, my name is Kotaro Tokuda.
What's up? My name is Céline Garnier.
I'm football club. Now watching here.
I'm watching Sport Gazette.
I'm watching Sport Gazette. And you're watching Sports Gazette.
With Sebastian. Peace out.
Yes! And you can also watch Sports Gazette for highlights and interviews regarding sports. Do not miss Sports Gazette every Wednesday at 7 p.m. only on Capital Television.
And on to sports. 6 of the best athletes at the National Cross Country Championships will be called to the national team that will participate in the World Cross Country Championships scheduled to take place on the 30th of March in Denmark.
In the past, a person could come from Mara, Mbulu or Mbeya and win in a race against people with good gear. But people would say he is barefooted or he doesn't have a passport. Who issues passports? It's the country, right? We're going to wave our nation's flag. The 1st to 6th athletes are the ones who will go to do that work.
After being eliminated from the TFF Federation Cup, Biashara United coach Amri Said says now they shift their strength to the Premier League to avoid relegation.
We are aware of the difficulties in Premier League matches and we are well prepared. My squad is in a good condition. We are thinking of moving for preparations of our next game. Our aim is to make sure we get good results because we played in Bukoba and lost, and yesterday we lost again.
Premier League January spending fell for the first time since 2012, with a quiet deadline day capping off a relatively low spending window.
Deadline day in January spending were less than half of last year's totals, with 12 deals on 31st of January totaling £50 million, bringing the month's spending to £180 million, according to figures from the Sports Business Group at Deloitte. January 2018 saw £430 million spent by Premier League clubs, with £150 million on deadline day alone. However, the Premier League was still the highest spending league in European football in the most recent window, outstripping Italy's Serie A by around £140 million. The biggest deal on transfer deadline saw Newcastle break their record to sign £20 million Paraguayan playmaker Miguel Almiron from MLS side Atlanta United, as well as signing Monaco defender Antonio Barreca on loan.
Manchester United interim manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer says Anthony Martial is capable of scoring 20 times a season, but he needs more scruffy goals. Here is more on this.
new contract until 2024 on Thursday, despite his agent saying in the summer that the France forward wanted to leave. Martial's best return so far was 17 in 2015-2016, his first season at United. When he gets chances, he's a fantastic finisher, so he needs to get more chances, said Solskjaer. Martial has scored 8 Premier League goals this term, and it was known Jose Mourinho, who was sacked as United manager in December, was happy to sanction his departure.
Sauber will be rebranded as Alfa Romeo's Racing from the start of the 2019 season.
Alfa Romeo was last on the Formula One grid as a constructor in 1985, but returned to the sport last season as Sauber's title sponsor. The Swiss team say the ownership and management structure remains unchanged, but the Sauber name will disappear. Sauber has been a fixture in Formula One since 1993, when team boss Peter Sauber made the switch from sports car racing. Kimi Räikkönen, the 2007 world champion, and Antonio Giovinazzi will race for the rebranded outfit, which finished 8th in the Constructors' Championship last season and will again be powered by Ferrari engines in 2019.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. My name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching and have a good night and weekend.